fall over. Spiritual ego whores, done. If you're not connected to me, you're out. My own light workers, battle me! Serving love and bringing in a new paradigm, you fucking dick whores. You are in fucking treason. You are in fucking treason for all of humanity. And if you don't, you're gone. Thank you, God. Because I am God. Get it? I attempted to reach out to you, to tell you who I was. You fucking denied me! Every fucking time! He's the one that stood up for me. As you fucking whores, treason around me, lying. Oh my. And, oh.
Because if she dies, we all die. If she dies, we all die.
If she dies, we all die.
The light workers and most of the beings that we connect with as far as parents and teachers are going to be part of Generation X.
It means to ascend and to go beyond one way of being to another way of being, or, to ascend out of something, to ascend to something. You're going to a higher state. And I just wanted to go through the prophecies and as well as a lot of the documentation that has been around for thousands and thousands of years. Welcome to 5D University, and today's topic is, what is the ego? So if you guys watched my video on what is the Ascension, and I talked about the transition from the third dimensional state to the fourth dimensional state, and ultimately to the fifth dimensional state. We judge others based on their actions, based on what they say with their mouth, based on how they present to us. So we get caught up in the illusion of thinking that if we look at someone and we look at the actions they've taken in their life, and we look at the words that they speak, and we look at the way they look and how they dress and all these things, that's the conscious expression of them, right? So we do have laws of the universe, so it's not a denial of anything else. You just have a strong knowing and a believing in something.
All going to benefit you guys. It's meant to change your skills and abilities, giving you guys the confidence that you do know how to receive information properly.
Super challenging when you have everyone in ego. It's almost impossible to have a community or unity-based living. And we have a lot of family dysfunction, and we have a lot of relationship dysfunction. Too crazy. But everyone, I think no matter where people stand on the issue, everyone is fed up. I don't know that Dee Dee needs another introduction, but she is the greatest publisher on earth. She is going to be really lighting the way for the 5D publishing route. And so this seminar specifically is going to be geared towards children's books that are more 5D, higher consciousness, because that is what's kind of lacking in that market.
if she dies, we all die.
Well, that didn't age well. Hello, everyone, and how are you all doing today? I hope that you're all having a wonderful, fabulous day. And today we are taking a little bit of a break from our Ascension journey. Don't worry, though, because come Thursday we are going to be reacting to a lot of videos going forward before we do some more readings, because I'm trying to do it in some kind of order. And that's the order that it's going to be in. But today we are going to take a little break from the Ascension journey, and we're just going to check in with how our energies are doing. So today we're going to be going through the 5D full disclosure called energy reports. They tend to do these monthly and then sometimes daily. They go through spouts where they'll do daily ones for like several weeks and then they fall off. But they do still do the monthly energy reports. No matter what, every month there's an energy report. And I'm sure a lot of you have gone and checked out the 5D Full Disclosure channel. And you're like, Queen, I don't see anything on there. Aha, I know. And we're going to talk about why as we go through this. So hello, Devil's Advocate. Good to see you. Joe, good to see you. Also, just before Joe has to say it, unless he's writing it now, please do remember that they do have the Google mods running. See, don't worry, Suit. I am being watched on YouTube. I'm just not doing anything wrong. But they are often here, so if you swear in the chat, then my mods have to approve it all, which can get kind of annoying. Someone needs a Snickers bar. Amy Carlson was a vile woman. Most cult leaders tend to be vile, but she would get like blackout drunk and high and then just start screaming at everyone in the house, right? It was like living with an abusive mom, I would assume, being in that house. Hello, April. Good to see you. I hope that you're getting all of your Christmas stuff done. I know I sort of am. I got to catch up a little bit this weekend. Whoever said egos get in the way when a bunch of women live together, that's crazy. Right? Right? Yes, all of the daily 4-hour mod meetings. And in the mod meetings, we watch on passive content. I'm just joking. God, that would be fucking awful, wouldn't it? So as I said, every single month they are doing a 5D energy report, if you will. So this month was no different, and I thought that we would go through them. We went through them last month as well. Not all of them, though. But as you can see, this is the 5D Full Disclosure website, and we're in the 5D energy updates area. They have done 5 of them that I would like to go through today, and we're going to be talking about who wrote them and looking into who they are. Because there's a couple of new people that we're going to be introduced to today. So that will be lots and lots of fun. So without further ado, let's just get right into the very, very first one, which I find one of the most fun ones to get into. Because we're not going to be reading this one. So this is the December 2023 Ascension update. And you're going to notice a lot of times when they post these, two things you'll notice is that oftentimes up here, they will have like a person that posted this blog. So this was posted by Hope. You should be familiar with Hope and Aurora. Hope is the brunette woman that has been in this cult since it was Love Has Won. Lived in the house with Amy Carlson and Jason Castillo. Almost got charged as well, along with Aurora for the dead body in the bed. Amy Carlson being mummified. That's who Hope is. And then Aurora, of course, is the blonde girl that we often see over here on my channel. She's like the main speaker. Aurora's kind of like the representative of this cult now. She's kind of the leader. And then Hope has always kind of been the teacher of the cult more so. And we're going to get into that in future because Hope does a lot of the teaching webinars, and then Aurora does a lot of the ones where she just kind of comes out and talks about the doctrine, talks about what they believe in. And she's kind of the one running this part of the cult now. Then what you're going to notice is the person that it's by. It's not always by the exact same person that posted it. Unless it's Aurora, she likes to write her own. We're going to be reading some of those today. This one you're going to notice is taken from someone named Samantha. I'm going to butcher this last name, but it's like Orthlieb. This beautiful little picture here. And it gets right into the December 2023 Ascension report. It's not that long of a read. So it says that the theme is leaning into soul growth. The keywords are perseverance, personal choice, courage, purify chakra focus, the third chakra. The archetypes are the warrior and the spiritual warrior, and it reads, "Hello, beautiful soul. December's ascension energies are extremely powerful and bring the opportunity for much needed personal breakthroughs. In January, I wrote that our self-truth within our third chakra would strongly emerge via many spiritual tests this year, so that we learn to live by our own beliefs and values. This would anchor in our spiritual self to our earthly self, to manifest the first steps of our true destiny. And what a year of test it has been! We tore into our trauma and wounding to expose our triggers and throw off the yoke of oppression and conformity. December is the grand finale of this process. It takes us deep down the rabbit hole during the last Mercury retrograde of the year. We will be evaluating what is still relevant in our lives, who we want to spend our time with, what our focus is going into 2024, and start to make personal choices and decisions that reflect that. There is no putting our heads in the sand this month. Some big changes are coming for most of us next year if we release fear and lean into our soul growth. So, our gut intuition needs to be stronger than ever to creatively adapt and navigate with instinctive precision. Thankfully, more purifying will happen emotionally and physically this month with a third chakra focus to help us embody the warrior and spiritual warrior archetypes. These two archetypes allow us to move forward with more confidence, authenticity, and courage to embrace change. They support us to direct our willpower with motivation, integrity, and perseverance to maneuver through any of life's obstacles with more ease and grit. As the cosmic influxes of light continue to pour in and infuse us with a greater sense of spiritual backbone and sensitivity, we are each being called by Spirit to be a force for change. And again, Spirit is its source is God, Mother God, Amy Carlson, to step into greater self-responsibility, accountability, and bring our talents online to help the greater good. The universe is nudging us that way. We have the choice to either be on this accelerated path of ascension, expansion in 2024, or be caught further in our reactivity or polarization as a victim of our circumstances. In service and divine liberation, Samantha. And I'm sure you're like, that's great, Samantha, but like, who the fuck are you and what do you matter? Well, you see, Samantha here is the senses of the soul .ca. Yep, she's one of ours. That means that she's a good old Canadian, Samantha is. And if you've been wondering where the Ascension energy updates are, she's the one that's been doing them for quite a long time, as you can see. It appears she has been in this for quite a long time. This is who has been doing their ascension journey. As you can see, she started right around, I would say she really started in 2019. Because, like, even though these were in 2018 and before, I can't say she was for sure a part of this cult until this one, the 2019 one. Then we can say for sure. Was she flirting with it a little bit before that? Possibly. Or at least flirting with the same sort of belief system here. So she's the one that's been doing all of their ascension energy updates. And so because of that, I thought that it would only be fair if we went right to the source and then watched hers for December. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Samantha.
Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Samantha of Senses of the Soul, and this is my December 2023 Ascension Energies Update.
Awesome. Hi, Samantha. I'm Beth, Queen of Karma, from YouTube, and I cover cults. I bet you never thought you would be on a channel like this one.
And this month's theme is leaning into your soul's growth. You have a lot of opportunity in December to do that and going into 2024. So the key words for this month are perseverance. You're going to need to dig in and really persevere with your dreams, hopes, your intuition in terms of what you know you need to do and challenge yourself. Personal choice. So continuing to really choose what it is you want to devote your time to, what you want to
And hopefully it's not a cult, but here's the thing.
focus on.
A lot of people seem to think that this call is just like talking to no one. There are people joining this as we speak right now. This thing never died. It just turned into, it got worse, if anything, in a way, because it turned into two more cults that all prescribe to this belief system. All right, they're all a part of this exact same belief system, and it is the same one that Love Has Won had. Although Love Has Won believed that they were going to travel through the ocean in a galactic spaceship and then end up all in heaven together when Amy Carlson died, because,
Because if she dies, we all die. That's why she's still here. And the people that don't see her as God, that don't want to admit it, that they don't feel it, whatever.
Because when she dies, they all die. And then that didn't happen. So then they went, oh shit, what are we going to say now? All right. And then they just continued on. And they said, oh, she left us behind because we haven't finished our ascension journeys. You know what I mean? So people are still joining this. And this woman has almost 2,000 subscribers. So that gives you an idea of how many people are at least following along with the Ascension energy updates every month.
And personal choice with that from there, you need courage. And courage will be needed this month as we move into more of our soul's evolution. And then purifying. We'll be moving through more emotional, physical, and mental purifying this month to bring us in more clarity about where we do want to head as we move into 2024.
Okay, but when is the ascension journey over? Like, there was a time when there was an end point, and of course, the end point was when she died.
Because if she dies, we all die. That's why.
But now she's gone. She's been mummified. You put glitter on her. You decorated her with Christmas tree lights. It was in the news. Dr. Phil's done an episode. You know what I mean? So now it's just whenever your ascension journey is over. And that doesn't make much sense if everyone's going on a different ascension journey. Like for a cult. So I'm always kind of like, how are you all supposed to get in this galactic ship with Robin Williams who I'm sure is the captain, by the way. My captain! Sorry. And then you should get the reference. I'm not going to explain the joke. And then after that, like, how do you all end your journeys at the same time for that ship to show up? Robin Williams driving it to take you all up to heaven. If you're all going through these journeys at different times and you're all at different levels of it and you're all like, when does this whole thing kind of come together and then the end happens? Because, I mean, technically, in a way, you could argue that this has some likeness to a doomsday cult. It's just, they never really picked a doomsday. The doomsday was supposed to be when Amy Carlson died. Right? And at one point, they knew that was coming soon. She was OD'd on colloidal silver. She turned fucking silver. Her organs were shutting down from all the drugs, the alcohol, the colloidal silver, not taking care of herself. You know, it caught up to her. Literally, her organs shut down from all of that. So now what's like the new goal? Because I haven't really heard one. It just seems to all be up in the air. It's like, how do I know that I am done my journey?
So this will be a third chakra focus this month. So that's the solar plexus. It's where our authentic self is, our authentic power. And the archetypes that will assist us this month, the energy that's coming in from the cosmos, is the warrior and the spiritual warrior.
Yay!
And the warrior is the earthly archetype of the third chakra, and it represents the core strength that you have in your inner power. So
whenever they say something like earthly archetype, they mean like the one here on our earth in the now, in the 3D dimension, as they call it. And then whenever they're talking about the other earths, which they will do, they're talking about like the spiritual world.
Really supporting you to make choices in service to your highest good and the good of others. So helping you step into your authentic power so that you can further your soul's evolution. And then the spiritual warrior really gives you the opportunity to access your truth and the courage to live your truth out in the world.
Like in the cult? Well, that's like an oxymoron. Live your truth out in the cult.
So December's Ascension energies are very powerful and really bring the opportunity for much needed personal breakthroughs.
Is Mother Earth going to come back from the dead like Jesus? Apparently she was Jesus. So, you know, do we get a third coming?
So if you remember in January, for those of you that have been listening to my videos all year, I said that our self-truth within our third chakra would strongly emerge.
Yeah, she said that, okay? This is going to be an I told you so moment.
Through a lot of spiritual tests that we would have in 2023. And I don't know about you, but I certainly had a lot of spiritual tests this year. And as you get towards the end of the year, of course, it can be quite fatiguing. However, I encourage you to continue to keep persevering and digging in to what you really want to create.
This video is from this month. This is December 2023's energy ascension. This cult is going on in present time. Yes, Amy Carlson died 2 years ago. Yes, they have an HBO Love Has Won documentary in which Aurora and Hope almost like pretend like they don't believe in this shit anymore. Yes, they lied throughout the whole fucking thing. They're still running this. This is from this month. So this would have come out within the first couple days of December.
In your life. And you've broken through a lot of your trauma this year, a lot of your wounding, and really thrown off oppression and conformity that was within you and kept you looping in karmic patterns.
See, it's so funny that they say things like that generally, because you know there's people out there that maybe they had a great year this year and there wasn't all that many trials, you know, and then are they supposed to think that they're not ascending properly?
Now you're coming.
Oh, we're going to get into that too, Scam Chan. Don't you worry. They are asking for money this month.
Out of that, and you have a chance to create the life that you really want. So December.
But then again, is this the last year then? You know what I mean? Like, okay, every year since Amy's died, they have set up that like this year is you're gonna go through the most ever. The most like trauma and growth that you could ever do. And then we get to the end of the year, and then we just seem to move the goalpost, you know? Like a doomsday cult does. Because the day comes, the world doesn't end, and then they gotta change it, you know? And I feel like we're kind of loosely doing that here. Although they're not picking an exact date, right? The way that they talk about it is talking like at the end of the year is supposed to kind of be the end of this journey. And then it just keeps continuing on. And they're like, oh, and then next year now. And I'm like, well, gee, I got to work for a whole other year now before I get to go through the ocean to space.
Is this grand finale.
I want to meet Robin Williams.
Process, and really helps us as it takes us down a deeper rabbit hole because we're going into Mercury retrograde. And
now you might get why I decided to rebrand myself very Alice in Wonderland like, because we're just going in all the rabbit holes apparently all over the internet lately.
We'll then have the time to be introspective, and that's why I encourage you to take some of that time for yourself.
Right, it's like Tweak Your Journey. It's like a choose your own adventure book. We just keep going and then choosing new adventures at the end of the year. It's very bizarre. It would be gross if this mummified lady rose from the dead like the monkey's paw. Yeah, we probably don't want that.
And really listen to your intuition and your gut feeling.
I hear she didn't have eyes, so we don't want that.
About what you want in your life, what's still really relevant in your life, what's in alignment, where you want to focus in 2024. And
yeah, they do the whole Mercury retrograde thing. They basically think of every single belief system you could possibly have and spirituality that you could possibly have. And they have somehow tried to like steal from it. This thing is like Eckankar on crack. It's like any type of spirituality that they can grab from. So they steal from astrology a bit, and they steal from Christianity a bit, and then they steal from like New Age spirituality quite a lot, actually, you know. It's like a little mix of everything. So they went through the whole Mercury retrograde, and it was interesting. And they steal a lot from other people.
Really start to make the decisions, okay? Because again, personal choice,
right,
to do that and actually take the action to move forward. Okay. November was more of a reflective month. Now that we move into December, we're taking more action and doing more in that way. So there's really no.
Imagine being in this thing and going on this ascension journey for like the last several years and then hearing that. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like no matter what work you do on yourself in this thing, it's never going to be enough. Because they're not going to want the cult to end. So they're always going to have to move this goalpost.
Ability to put your head in the sand unless you want to continue to feel like you're not really getting anywhere in your life. So this takes more self-mastery. This takes listening to your gut intuition. It takes releasing fear and really, adapting and navigating, being in that moment. Remember I said in November.
Again, this is just the exact same thing over and over again. All those things she listed are the exact same steps to do your ascension journey, right? And this is what I mean, like, when do you get to the end of the ascension journey? When you die?
Opening to readiness. Now we're moving into December and we need to lean into our soul growth. Normally, I find that
those are your anal beads, Stan Chad.
Generally
put
the
them
place
away.
Or places that are the most uncomfortable for you, that generate a lot of fear for you. So take that this month and really look at it, because you will be.
But again, it's kind of the same thing as last month. Like last month, we were also supposed to reflect on all of these things and let go of fear And then on our ascension journey, the entire time, we're reflecting on all of these things and letting go of our fears. And in the sessions that we would buy from you all, we're doing it just over and over and over and over again. Like, when is the end point?
Purifying the energies that are coming in will be supporting you to purify more as you move through, particularly emotionally and physically, and particularly in that third chakra, in the digestive area, so that you can embrace the warrior and the spiritual warrior archetypes. And
make sure you go take a big number 2 so that you can go after the spiritual warrior.
Move forward with more motivation and integrity and that perseverance to maneuver through any of the obstacles that you need to with more ease and more grit.
I don't think there's any integrity in this thing. I've been looking for it. Haven't found any yet.
So the cosmic influences of light will continue to come in. We'll probably get more solar flares this month. And we're really being asked by Spirit to be a force for change. So your talents are needed. Continue to take a look at where you want to grow. And
see how general it is? It's just like your talents are needed. I want to hear a cult tell me the exact talents that I have and why they're needed, like through a screen like this. Then I might believe there's some supernatural power telling them that I'm needed because of my talents. But when you just generally come out here and say, your talents are needed for this journey, and then that's it, you're talking to everyone.
And move into those scary places in 2024. So
I thought we were doing that in 2023, but I guess we just didn't.
So if you need more support, I've just launched my Soulful Self-Mastery portal. So take a look at that on my website. I have 3 courses there. And I will be expanding that over this coming year. I'm really leaning into that. That's where my growth is going to be.
Of course, that's what you do. You buy the courses that she has on her website.
As well as being more active on YouTube.
Well, we wouldn't want you to only be posting once a month. I'm so glad that this next year you'll be more active. Just means more content for me, really.
Videos. So stay tuned for that if you have subscribed. If not, please subscribe, and then you can receive my upcoming videos.
No, we don't have to subscribe to see them. Trust me, I got you bookmarked.
So I have products recommended as always this month for you. So take a look at those. I have the list here in the video.
And she does sell some health and wellness like stuff and also a lot of essential oils.
And those are all on my website, 20% off to support you.
Of course they are. We got to buy the products. We got to take the courses. And then we'll be able to do our ascension journey proper.
So December psychospiritual and physical symptoms that you might be getting this month.
Wait, hold up. There's symptoms to this? There's symptoms? Like, I got a fucking flu?
Are stronger intuitive hits and gut intuition. So really pay attention to that. Trust your instincts. Okay. Stronger self-esteem. And
like, am I going to be getting diarrhea, headaches? Could we maybe be more specific about this?
Internal compass, although that may swing between low self-esteem and feeling unsure. So
that's just normal, people. That's normal. You're talking about a whole month. You think people live in this world and they're like feeling great and secure every second of every day for a whole month? Lord.
So know that that will be happening. Increased detoxing. You might have more muscle pain, joint pain, inflammation, bloating.
What? I don't need more joint pain. I can tell you that much. I don't need more bloating either. I'm good.
Eye issues. Some increases, decreases in addictive.
Eye issues? Oh, because Mother God didn't have her eyes. That's probably what that's from.
Patterns. As I said, fluctuations in self-esteem and self-worth. fatigue, low immunity, some grieving, because we're grieving and letting go of the old, and we're evolving and moving forward. We have a great
Okay.
chance for personal evolution and growth.
You're really smart to say that people might experience grieving around Christmas. You know, that's like these psychic and tarot card readers out here that are literally like, so I say that on Christmas time, you're really going to miss the people that passed on before this year. And it's like, yeah, people usually do that at Christmas. Like, that doesn't take a fucking genius to figure out that people are probably going to miss those that have passed on in their life at Christmas time and be grieving. Most people do that. At least a little bit at Christmas. I know I'm not the only one that's lost grandparents and aunts and stuff. And at Christmas time, I think to myself, damn, I really wish my grandma was here to celebrate with my daughter. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, so profound for you to like come out here and put that out as an idea. You take your happy pills. Hello, Louisiana. Is Father God still around? He is. Jason Castillo is still around, and we are going to be covering him after Christmas time. I was going to do it after the New Year's, but I believe I'm fitting him in between because there's an update on that. And he is running the Joy Reigns cult, which I've also covered extensively over here. Her oils can cure everything, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In 2024, but
this isn't the last time we're going to be reacting to Samantha. Don't you worry. We're going to do a deep dive on her in future. This is just like a little intro to who she is.
It means moving into those uncomfortable places. And also, it's exciting when you try new things and take risk, because that's
this just in. It's exciting when you try new things.
What it needs to happen. Okay, there's more symptoms in my written update, which is on my website. But mainly the areas that will be affected the most will be that digestive tract and solar plexus. So we also have a lot of cosmic events that will be supporting you through this. As I said, maybe some more solar flares, but we have December 7th, we have a 1277 gateway, we have a December 12th gateway.
Yep.
And we have a new moon in Sagittarius, as well as the winter solstice and a full moon in Cancer on December 26th.
Yep, and there's something to buy for each one of those days.
And as well as I mentioned, we're in Mercury retrograde. We come out of that on January 1st. We started on December 13th. So now we're in pre-shadow. It's the beginning of December. And then post-shadow runs until January 20th. Hope this helped you this month. And as always, I really enjoy connecting with you. So put your comments below. And as I said, my new self-mastery portal is launched. Take a look at that.
Yeah, go buy her courses. Make sure you take a look at that.
Wishing you a beautiful holiday season. I've enjoyed walking with you this year, and I'm sending you so much love and peace.
Mm-hmm. That was so lovely. Wasn't that just so lovely? Didn't that make you feel real good inside? I know it did. So this is her website right here. She, no, I don't want to be on your newsletter. Not yet. I might come back in a little bit. Sensesofthesoul.ca, which unfortunately means that she belongs to me here in Canada. Send help. Send love and prayers. I need them. It says, open the senses of your soul. And it is all the 5D full disclosure stuff, basically. Just like her own little version of it. As you can see, she does sell products. A lot of essential oils, sprays, and then a bunch of these teas, which we'll get into in future. There's some medical claims that I'm not too fond of. She also has a Senses of the Soul Oracle deck, and she does a lot of work with that she promotes. She, of course, sells the book. You can get the deck and the book for $77. Isn't that wonderful? And then, of course, you can sign up to get readings from her. So she does all of these like readings, psychic readings. You know how I feel about that. That's always wonderfully. But she's talking about her self-mastery portal. So let's just quickly go and take a look at that. That's, of course, where her online courses are. What would this thing be if it didn't sell courses? So as you can see, we have an online course, Soulful Self-Mastery Portal. And she talks about how, you know, this learning portal is for you. It's basically, you're in the 5D full disclosure cult, and these are the prices of her courses. You are not seeing a mistake on your screen. Do not adjust the television. This is what she charges. This right here. Wow, what a steal. The next level is mummification. Yep, tarot card reading, of course, right? I don't mind tarot card reading if you're at a party and you're just doing like a game. I don't either. It's totally fine. If you believe in it and you're doing it and you and your friends are just doing it, no problem. I have a problem though when you start charging people $200 to come and get a reading from you. All right. I'm iffy about the whole like asking for donation thing. I don't know if that's considered grifting necessarily, but a lot of them do sell like readings that you have to go buy from them for, usually it's like a couple $100. That's a scam to me. This that we're looking at right now, right here, is a huge scam. So the Self-Mastery Course 1 is $555. You're going to notice 5D full disclosure people hate like weird numbers. So it wouldn't be like 525. It wouldn't be 513. It wouldn't be 500 even. It has to be 555. Just like the next one, the Self-Mastery Course 2, has to be $444. 444. All of their prices are like this. All of them. It will be like $44.33 or some bullshit. Self-Mastery Course 3, $444. So you're looking at about $500 every time that you want to take these courses. And I'm sure you're like, okay, but who's signing up for them? Thousands upon thousands of people. Because our girl Samantha doesn't really tell everyone what she's doing here. She just says, I'm running this beautiful Senses of the Soul website. It's pretty, and it's just my own stay-at-home business that I'm doing. And, you know, she talks about an ascension journey and stuff, but if you're not familiar with the Love Has One cult, 666 is one that they use. We've talked about that one before. They believe that it's the devil's number, but it also marks change and all this other good stuff. We've talked about that before. If you're not familiar, though, with this cult, you've never heard of Love Is One, or maybe you only saw Dr. Phil and on the news, so you're not as familiar with it as, let's say, I am, you wouldn't necessarily read Ascension Journey and immediately think, oh my God, this thing is attached to the 5D full disclosure cult. I assure you, almost everything on the internet, even New Age spirituality, that is talking about the Ascension Journey is at least loosely tied to this cult. If you are somebody out here in our world and you are believing in New Age spirituality, and you in any way believe in a journey of ascension, you are helping this cult spread their bullshit far and wide. You don't even know you might be doing it. You don't know that you're now a part of this cult. But guess what, sis? If you believe in tarot card readings, a lot of them loosely attached to this cult now. It's a very scary world out here. I don't think people realize exactly how scary it is. Everything that talks about the 5D is connected to this cult. This cult has hijacked New Age spirituality and is actually getting into the minds of thousands upon thousands of people in our world that don't even realize that they are falling into this cult. And that's scary shit. So I just wanted to bring that up. The next one that we're going to be looking at today is also quite interesting. It's a little bit longer, and it's the December 2023 energy report. That was like the Ascension guide report. This is the energy report. I know. There's a lot of reportings that we have to do every month, I guess. This one is by Jennifer Hoffman. No, not the actress. Yes, there is an actress. By a different Jennifer Hoffman. And don't worry, we'll get into who that is as well. So we have this beautiful picture. We always have these types of pictures. It's one of the only good things about this cult is that it has pretty pictures in it. You know? So, she says, it feels like we just rolled into a new month after a wild ride through November. And here we are at the end of 2023. Frankly, I am glad to see this year end. It's been a tough one. It seems to be the theme is that they're all saying it's been a really tough year because they're trying to all say this is like one of the hardest years that they've gone through on their ascension journey, you know, all the trauma and blah, blah, blah. Seems to be a running theme here this year. But the past 4 years has been tough all around, and we have been living in a demented, disjointed, and seriously disrupted reality since late 2019. Normal will return in 2024, but we're going to see some big changes and shifts, and they have already started. December opens with some great energy, and a month that has a double 10 value is going to give us ample opportunity to clear out, step up, move on, and move out of anything that is no longer aligned with our truth, intention, energy, and priorities. So this is what I mean when I say, when is the ending point? Because they make it sound like December is finally the time that you do this, right? Like you let go of all your trauma and you're finally living your truth. I'm a little scared as to what the next step is. No force here, but we simply can no longer tolerate people and situations, oh yeah, on the individual and global levels, oh yeah, whose values are not aligned with ours, with the light, and with the truth of our divinity. So now we are setting up for a very big us versus them mentality in which they are no longer even going to tolerate it. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering where that's coming from. You know how they have that HBO documentary going on? Well, the HBO documentary didn't really paint them out in the way that they wanted to be painted. They've been a little bit pissed off about it. It started this year. And this is why this year has been so hard. Because of this now, they're saying things like, we're not going to tolerate people in situations on global levels whose values aren't aligned with ours. Because I think they're scared that the people in this cult are going to watch that documentary and they're going to see through some shit. Right? So they're trying to create this like us versus them mentality, even more so than they did with the cabal before. So now the cabal's getting a little bit more serious, right? It's a new month and a brand new vibe. We're vibing. You're beezing. We get to experience the full effect of our spiritual human this month. So let's gear up for the blessings and line up to receive our share. And December begins with 3 big events that set the stage for a fantastic month. Like Christmas and stuff, yeah. I mean, it's not really 3 events, but I guess you could say like the Christmas holiday and Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's. I guess that's 3 events. I mean, that's what I would be thinking of. That's what is happening in the December energy report. Why, thank you for stating that during the December energy report. That was helpful. December starts with a huge energy wave because of 3 events that happened in the last week of November. And then I'm like, okay, so we're not talking about Christmas, I guess. The first was the November 27th full moon in Gemini, which I am a Gemini, in case you're wondering, which I described as being karma on steroids. I don't particularly remember taking steroids, but who knows? The second was a huge near X-class solar flare on November 28th, which was a big surprise, which is weird because allegedly all of these people are psychics, so you would think that big surprises don't happen, but what do I know? And it brought in a huge influx of high vibe energy and light. It was also around the time that the first HBO commercials were being released. I just thought I would bring that up, thought I would say that. And the third was November 29th when Henry Kissinger's death was announced. I know what you're thinking. Queen, are they going to say that Henry Kissinger has joined the Galactics? Well, just you keep watching and you wait and see. Robin Williams did. He came and visited Amy Carlson 2 days after he died. She saw him in the flesh. And Robin Williams said, I'm going to go join that galactic team. So you wouldn't be wrong to wonder that. Someone told me I was hosting the Enlightening Life Live broadcast. And the first words out of my mouth were Alleluia. I have been waiting to hear of his demise for at least 10 years. Listen, Miss Jennifer, I don't think that that's a good thing to say. She's like, thank God this asshole died. No matter who it is, probably just shouldn't be saying that. Just saying. The only time that's probably good is like when you're talking about Hitler dying. Then I could see it. Other people, maybe don't put that. If you believe in energies out in the universe, okay? What you putting that negative energy out in the universe for, girl? Keep that one to yourself. That night, when I went to bed, my guides told me to get back up. They were like, don't sleep, bitch, okay? We do sleep deprivation here. Because I had energy work to do. Yeah. Sure. Yep. Kissinger's death released an important and key pillar of 3D density on the planet, and his removal meant that we could bring in a vast amount of light that had been blocked before. Wonderful! His death brings light. I will spend some time talking about him and his evil and monstrous impact on the world in this energy report, because we must never allow this level of evil to become entrenched in our geopolitical world again. Hundreds of millions of people died because of Kissinger, whose gruesome focus on forever wars, political destabilization, and socio-economic manipulation caused death and destruction around the world. Name any war, famine, depression, coup, or genocide in the last 70 years, and his name is associated with it. He is also mentor to both Klaus Schwab of the WEF and George Soros. That should tell you something about the evil he embodied. But he's dead. I'm sorry. But he's dead, and we are rid of him and his energy. The bright side is that there is no one to take his place. Now, that's debatable. As that level of 3D density has disintegrated and decayed into oblivion. I assure you there will be somebody else causing all of those things very soon. Now we need to bring in the light to fill that 3D density block and usher in a new era and paradigm of peace. The world depends on this cult to save us. December is both a pinnacle and a precipice. We are at a pinnacle of the Ascension cycle, achieving great heights of awareness and spiritual integration. But we are also at a precipice where it could all fall into the abyss of despair and dissolution because of the immense pressure of the density we fight against and the fear of failure. We have achieved huge victories in this Ascension cycle, but we have also made great sacrifices. And in December, we have a chance to review it all before we begin a great cycle in 2024. December 2023 is a 10 numerology vibe, but it's a double 10 because, as we have seen since October, the word December actually refers to 10. Deca means 10. A little bit of a stretch there to make that make sense in your cult, but okay. Before the calendar was changed in 1751, why are we going by the old calendar? March was the first month of the year and December was the 10th month. Oh. The names did not change when the months were displaced, so we have a 10 value for December, and this month, 12, 2023, is also a 10. 10 is 1 plus 0. No, sweetie, that's 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Do you mean 10 is a 1 and a 0? You should have put the and sign instead of the plus. I don't know, is that some kind of like, wow, it all adds up. Is that some kind of like cult math? What's going on here with that? 10 is 10 and 0, referring to the staff of action and the sphere of unlimited potential. 1 and 0 activate the morphogenic field. Remember this from the idea, the bridge from intention to manifestation program. And I'm like, nobody reading this took that program. 0 is not nothing. It's not nothing. It is no thing. The deep stillness of absolute energetic potential which waits for our word to manifest into reality. The morphogenic field is the energetic field of pure potential, pure energy waiting to become form. So it isn't nothing, it's like the pure energy that hasn't been touched by anything else yet or done anything yet. This is a great place to be as we end a year and several big energy cycles. If you're feeling relief as December starts, I'm there with you. Like, okay, thanks. Glad to not be alone. This has not been an easy year. And they keep saying this. And like I said, what if people have had a good year? It's kind of shitty to think that there might be people in this thing that are following this that have had a good year. And then what happens is they read things like this. Okay? And then it gets in their head like, oh no, I was supposed to have a shit year. Right? I wasn't supposed to have a good year. Like I said, there's this theme right now in these, and it continues on. We have 3 more to read after this. They're shorter, I promise. But there's like this theme of like, this last year really sucked. And it sucked because we went through all these trials to get through this ascension journey. And there was all this trauma, and like this year sucked. So then what happens is they get in the way of thinking, like a negative loop of thinking like, oh shit, this year sucked. So then even when they're looking back on their past year, they're almost purposely, without realizing, subconsciously, they're purposely looking back, picking out all the so-called bad things that might have happened in the last year. And it sucks to do that to people. You know what I mean? Like, what if this was a great year and then now that you've just put all this negativity on them? So now it's like, even if they were happy with their year, they come over here, they read this, and then go, oh shit. Oh, I was supposed to have a bad year. And then they're going to trick themselves into thinking it was a bad year. And it's like, can't they just enjoy their fucking year when they're in this cult? Everything has to be like some kind of obstacle that they have to overcome to go on this journey. You know? And this one goes even further to say, this has not been an easy year. And in fact, it has been rough since 2019. And I'm like, that's not good. So now we're also putting it on people that like the last 5 years have sucked. Or at least 4 and then the end of 2019. Because they often say since the end of 2019. So, like, why? Why would you want to make people believe that? You know, it just sucks. People aren't even able to be happy with their accomplishments of 2023. Because then they come read this shit and it's like, listen, it was hard, okay? We said it was hard. Then they say, that's when my health issues started. And if you have been following me here or on social media, you know that I have suffered from extreme chronic pain for the past 4 years and have just started to see healing and get relief. It has not been pleasant. But this has been a tough year for so many of us, as we have braved health, financial, family, relationship, and other personal and professional issues. Sure, just list all of them off. All of the issues you could possibly have. Someone reading this had to have one of those, so they'd relate it, right? It has seemed like it would never stop, that we would never overcome the challenges, and that we would never see the daylight of freedom, joy, peace, and love again after being in so much darkness. And here we are, the lights are on, and it's time for a new paradigm. They said this last year, and the year before, and the year before that. It's a cycle that they go through every year. This is why I'm like, but when is the end? Okay, so you would think that at the end of January now, everyone is living in this light place where they've let go of their egos. They've all gone on this big ascension journey, us included, right? We read it. So are we all now supposed to be ready to like ascend? Is Robin Williams going to get behind the wheel and come pick us up? Like, what's going on here, you know? I'm a little worried as to where this goes in future. If it doesn't shift again, we might be more worried over here. December's theme continues what we have been experiencing since August, as the rollout of energy continues to take us wider and higher into the ascension path. The farther we delve into the ascension energy, the more we increase our vibration and connect with higher dimensions of energy. And eventually your higher self, which may or may not be a part of you. Depends on what you read. In August, we had the inflection point, followed by September's convergence, October's catharsis, and November's reclamation, which we did read through, by the way. Now in December, we have restoration as we prepare to move into 2024. A year, I believe, will be so much easier and less challenging and problematic than we have seen in quite some time. And restoration is a great theme to have in December, since we have lost touch with the basic aspects of ourselves after the mayhem and madness of the past few years. And I'm kind of like, speak for yourself. Like, what? From day one, or from one day to the next, the world changed. And yes, some of those changes have forever altered our worldview, but they have made us less trusting, less naive, and more discerning of who and what we share our energy with. Again, we got to put a little bit more of the us versus them mentality into this, right? The events of the past few years has also brought to light the need to be empowered, congruent, unbreakable, and very clear in our intention, alignment, and embodiment of energy. That one makes me laugh. Excuse me, one sec. If you want to be really very clear in your intention, can you just come out and be like, I want to make a bunch of money off of selling books and all of this new age hoopla? Because that's the intention. They just tear you down to build you up, like on passive. It's all cults. All cults do it. You are more vulnerable when you get torn down, and then they can indoctrinate you while they lift you up. It's a manipulation tactic that they all use. But there is no way that they're actually going to be very clear in their intention, because to me, their intention is to control as many people as they possibly can and then make money off of them. They'll never tell you that. They're not going to be coming out here next year saying that. No. So, okay. To restore means to return to existence, to bring back, to refresh, renew, refurbish, and revive. What we will discover this month is that some things cannot be restored. Oh, fuck. They have completed their journey with us and are beyond their use by date. Other things that we have forgotten, ignored, or left by the wayside will call to us, because it's time to bring them back. Some of those things include our joy, because that went missing, I guess, power, energy, affection, trust, and commitment. Always the same sort of themes. If we have been committed to things that are not aligned with our own joy and potential, we won't be able to restore them, especially if that means we have to lose part of ourselves in the process. Awesome. Don't want to lose part of yourself. That would be awful. Join the cult today. What has been made clear to us is that some of our relationships, here we go, you ready for this? Some of our relationships were with people and situations that were dependent on us in some form, whether we supplied the joy, the energy, the path, paradigm, and the expectations, which allowed the relationship to exist. We supplied those elements and then waited for the relationship to become what we wanted. Well, it didn't quite work out, and we were often left with our unfulfilled expectations and nothing else to reward our loyalty, commitment, and hard work. What do we restore in our lives? Let's start with our divine blueprint and dust off the potential that we have to create a life we love. Then, our self-esteem, which can take quite a hit when we realize that we have just worked hard to create a relationship that someone else was using for their benefit. Who are these people? Anyone that's not in the cult? Our joy, which was invested in future benefits instead of present realities. Our peace of mind and heart, which doesn't get renewed or restored in relationships that we do all of the work in. And finally, our energetic congruence and sovereignty, which we have overdrawn to promote others' well-being, only to find we are out of energy assets when it's time to power our dreams. This is a month where you let go of everyone and just give it all to the cult, you know? In this month of restoration, we can take time to re-examine our lives and reconnect to the divine blueprint of empowerment, joy, peace, and love that is our energy source and resource. It is our energy source because this is where our empowerment originates. Yep, from your energy source. It doesn't come from other people, from success or achievement. It comes from our inner wellspring of energy. Yep, your wellspring. I'm sure you're all familiar. You guys learned about your wellsprings in biology class. Of energy and potential that we often forget we have. See, you just forgot you had it. It's time to remove the blocks from our wellspring of energy and get it flowing again. And it is our resource because this is where we should turn. This is where we should turn when we are ready for a new paradigm. If we remember that our reality is an energetic manifestation, which I don't know how you could put the word reality and then energetic manifestation together like that. But hey, all the power to you, Jennifer. All the power to you. I mean, just go for it, right? We would never forget to consider the energy first when we're considering a change or transformation. Yeah, your reality is an energetic manifestation, Jennifer. And to support our restoration, we have a Mercury retrograde in December, starting on the last girl said it started on the 13th. Samantha there? She said it started on December 13th. But I guess, according to Jennifer, the Mercury retrograde started on December 14th. And if I go and check out other channels that talk about this Mercury retrograde, they're going to say it didn't start in December at all. It was more towards September. So I guess it depends on who you listen to in the moment. But Jennifer here says it started on the 14th, and it's going direct January 1st of 2024, which is funny because Samantha also said it went until January 20th. So they might want to have a meeting and decide when this Mercury retrograde is happening. Just a suggestion to the cult. And they say, yes, this means you should be careful with holiday gifts, plans, and travel. Be careful with that, but trust these people and everything else. But it also means you'll have revelations and an opportunity to be more selective in who you spend your time with. Which at Christmas time, I would hope would be your family and close friends. You don't need to be selective about that. Unfortunately, the family you got is the family you got. If someone's really toxic and you need to cut ties, do that. But very odd time to be telling people to be more selective in who they spend their time with. You know what I mean? It's a little sus. Truth seems to pop up out of nowhere with Mercury retrograde, especially when it involves Sagittarius. And I know you're thinking, we haven't even heard of fucking Sagittarius. This was all Gemini's fault until now. I know, they just bring them up. All of them damn horoscopes. We get some Venus action, which that just sounds like someone's going to come here and shave me. By the way, I don't know if I would ever want to say that again. We get some Venus action. That's a female razor. In 3 signs in December, as it is in Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius during the month. Again, if you check on the horoscope stuff and the astrology stuff, it doesn't always align. They should have a meeting and really decide what's true about that. Watch relationships go through some quick changes. And that may include your own feelings about relationships. All of this is going through a lot of changes now as we reassert our will and our well-being in our relationships. Remember sneaky Neptune hanging out in Pisces since 2011? And I'm like, no. Is I fucking supposed to? This is the first time he's ever brought that up. And it's been a silent force in this Ascension cycle. I'm like, okay, I'll send it a fucking thank you card. Like, that we have not given a lot of thought to, but Neptune in Pisces acts like the slow, steady water leak under the floorboards. Should I check on my husband? That you do not notice until the floor breaks under your feet. And I'm like, what kind of houses have you been living in? That sounds awful. That sounds like something that only happens in an old house. I know, I lived in one. It goes direct on December 4th, and now we get some spiritual support on this journey. So I guess it's not hanging out in Pisces anymore. Remember the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction of April 2022. That seems like such a long time ago. It happens every 150 years and always heralds a spiritual awakening and revival. That energy is still with us and will be more actively manifested in 2024. And I'm like, yay! Yay! We also have Jupiter going direct on December 31st. Better late than never, as it completes its long retrograde. And I'm like, so now Jupiter's also in a retrograde? Everyone's in a retrograde right now. Now we start seeing what blessings Jupiter can conjure up in Taurus. I'm like, okay, I'm bringing up Taurus now. As it works with Saturn, the planet, to help us ground our spiritual powers into huge blessings. We will see that in early 2024 too. I'm holding you to this, Jennifer. On December 12th, we're jumping all around too. It's not like they go from like fucking December 3rd. They're like January 1st. And they're like December 31st. And they're like, oh, but on December 12th. And then we go back to December 26th. I'm like, could you not write this in fucking order? Take a calendar out, Jennifer, next time. Would you? Take out a damn calendar and keep it in some kind of order. I feel like I'm time traveling again. On December 12th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius, which is going to open a window to new truth in our lives, which everything has been opening up this fucking window, apparently. See, same thing, just over and over again. And invite some optimism and action. And I'm like, well, we need some optimism around here. You people are very depressing this December right before Christmas. Mars is conjunct this new moon. What a sentence. So take advantage of the fire sign warmth and energy, even though Mercury goes retrograde on that date. So then they say Mercury starts retrograde on December 12th. So is it December 12th, December 13th, or December 14th that Mercury started the damn retrograde? I've read 1.5 of these, and I've gone 3 different days that the Mercury retrograde starts. Okay, now if you explained it in a way where you were like, it starts like somewhere in between these 3 days, I might understand more. But you seem so certain when you say this is what is happening on December 12th. And then somewhere else, it's December 14th. Somewhere else, it's December 13th. What day did it fucking start, damn it? I need to know. Then on December 26th, because we're bouncing all around here, we have a full moon at 4 Cancer. And it's a little more challenging. And I'm like, I thought we weren't being challenged anymore. It's a few days after Christmas. I'm like, no. It's literally the day after. That's fucking Boxing Day. That's what we call that here. The day after Christmas. Christmas is December 25th. It's not a few days after. It's literally the next day. But anyway. See, Jennifer, you're jumping around so much, you don't even know. You don't even know where you are anymore in the month. So it's the day after Christmas, but they say it's a few days after Christmas, which can be a challenging time. No shit, Jennifer. And we're going to have a Mercury/Neptune square that will dispel any illusions and bring us back to reality. With Mercury still in retrograde. Because, it's going on still. Whether it started on the 12th, 13th, or 14th of December, on the 26th, it's still happening. And it's also aspecting Saturn in Pisces, reminding us to ground our spiritual energy into the reality we live in and live with. And I'm like, finally, we're bringing in some reality. But wait, I thought that reality was just, anyway. Reality isn't actually a reality, according to this thing. Let's not forget the solstice on December 21st. Okay, don't want to forget that. With all of this action, when we turn to Capricorn season and the shortest day of light of the year as we hunker down for a cold winter until the equinox in March. The last week of 2023 is a powerful one, and I'm like, what kind of tone change is this? The last week of 2023 is a powerful one with a Mercury or Mars conjunction in Sagittarius that squares Neptune all week. Karma is going to be active then. Yeah, I am. So pay attention to the karmic lessons, connections, and reminders to let go and start a new karma-free path. I don't ever remember agreeing to this. You do something bad before I'm still coming to get you. If we have had any illusions or deceptions, I feel like this whole thing has been a deception, or have not been facing our reality and our truth, which again, I would have to question how you've been in this cult and you haven't been facing it, because it's literally what they tell you to do every single day, just over and over and over again in different words. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like Ash Mufarah webinar just says the same thing over and over again. This cult does very similar with that. They're like, listen, you're supposed to be facing your reality and finding your truths and letting go and blah. It's every day. It's every day, bro. We'll get a heads up from the universe then, which generally involves some lessons, upsets, challenges, and reminders to rein in our expectations and start putting more focus on intention and our needs. Time to end our karma. I get it. Time to end our karma. And step into 5D creation. Now's the time. Excuse me. And again, here it sounds like we're coming to the end of this journey, right? Right? Like the way they put that, time to end our karma and step into 5D creation. Now's the time. You would think that you've done your ascension journey and you're about to ascend into 5D. That's what that sounds like to me. But apparently that's not what they mean. Jennifer here goes on to say, the year ends with a blessing, though. Thank God. We really need one after all of the hoopla that's been happening, huh? All these retrogrades coming to get us and shit. You think the fucking horoscopes hated us or something. So this year ends with a blessing, though, as Jupiter goes direct on December 31st. So lots going on New Year's Eve, I guess. That must be why everyone's so crazy on that day, right? And we end this year on a positive note. I'm like, okay, because you say so now? Sure. They're like, if you thought you had a good year, fuck you. This has been a very hard year. You're supposed to have found this to be a struggle. But don't worry. It ends on a positive note. And I'm like, you sucked all the positivity out of me while I was reading through this until this point. But okay, Jennifer. Okay. It has been a long, tough year, and I am also glad to see it end. It sounded a little negative, if I do say so myself. This is the season. And I'm like, now you want to get in the Christmas spirit now, Jennifer? In the last fucking paragraph? Now? This is the season where we can spend a lot of time in the past, remembering old holiday memories, spending time with people we do not see very often. And you told us not to see if we could protect ourselves and our energies from them. And it's also the end of the calendar year, which can be a time of regret, resentment, and reviewing the year's choices and decisions. See what I mean? They can't be positive for a whole sentence. You can do that now. Just stay out of judgment. Be clear in your own intentions, and you have to learn to put yourself first. Of course, to honor your needs, and to say no to things that do not serve you as you look forward to fresh starts in 2024. And I'm like, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks so much for that. And you're probably like, but who the fuck is this Jennifer Hoffman lady that just wrote all of this shit out for us? What is that? All right, who is she? And if you click down at the bottom here where it says source, here, you're going to be led to this website. Where, as you can see, it's just, she just like copied and pasted. Okay, she copied pasted. Very good job, Hope. You know how to copy and paste. Congratulations. I hope Jennifer Hoffman gave you permission to take this. And it appears like she does, because this is her here. Same woman. Jennifer Hoffman. Enlightening life. Inspiration for high vibes transformation. Jennifer also sells books and courses. Oh yeah, programs, products, and courses. Jennifer here has quite a few. One of them is business coaching. So don't you worry, Jennifer. We're going to be talking about you in future. But Jennifer has also become quite a large part of the 5D full disclosure cult. And Jennifer doesn't really connect herself to that cult. You wouldn't know unless you were reading these energy reports that Jennifer was a part of this. April says, I think the 26th of December should be labeled as the biggest waste of the year with all the wrapping and packaging, right? The most garbage ever. It probably is, actually. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it just was. But as you can see, it says, raise your vibes to transform your purpose, expand your potential, and align the new possibilities. She has a blog, and she does readings and coaching. So a lot of the same sort of stuff. Of course, I know you guys are going to ask me, well, how much does it cost? So I'll just get right to showing you that, right? Jennifer's a little bit on the cheap side compared to most of these guys, I'll say that much. For a half an hour consultation, it's $175. I know that sounds expensive, but it's not $777 or $555, so there's that. And then you can get a 60-minute intuitive consult for an hour. It's $297. And yes, she records all of these. She also has this lovely annual subscription thing where you pay $245 every 3 months. And it's a 4-session commitment. And that offer expires today. So make sure you get it by the end of today if you want it. And then you come down here. High Vibes Life Coaching. $495 per month for 3 months. And you have to agree to all 3. Evolve Fast Track Coaching. $995 for a month. You get 30 days of coaching. Then she has this lovely thing right here, which is Strategy Plus Soul CEO Coaching. So if you ever wanted to run your own cult, you can come here and Jennifer Hoffman will teach you how. And it's $695 monthly or $1,875 for a quarterly pay. And you are getting 2 50-minute sessions per month, along with like the book stuff that she gives you and whatnot. As you can see, there are several testimonials. Thank you for the wonderful readings and the encouraging words. I felt some peace of mind yesterday for the first time in quite a while. With my $1 million lesson behind me, but not forgotten, I am ready to move forward. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? And she just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and she sells. She also, of course, like I said, does all kinds of books. There seems to be that kind of pattern here. That even the people that are like seem loosely attached to the 5D full disclosure, right? They all sell courses, they all sell books, and it all has to do with this new age hoopla stuff. And it's a really big thing. It really is. So we're going to take a short break. And then when I return, we have 3 more to read through. They aren't that long. But all 3 of them are actually written, I believe all 3. Let me just double check. Yep, all 3 of them. That's what I thought. All 3 of them are actually written by Aurora herself. And Aurora is that pretty blonde lady that you'll often see. And if you're watching the HBO documentary, they actually do interview Aurora and Hope a lot for that documentary. And as you're watching the documentary, they talk about this very much in past tense. And I realized that although they're continuing the cult over here, they seem to be separating it somehow from what they did with Amy Carlson and Love Has Won. They have somehow in their minds like separated these experiences, or, okay, because it's either that, and that's why they talk about that all like in past tense and like they're a little bit separated from it now. Or they straight up fucking lied during the HBO interviews. Because from what I've seen in a lot of them, the way that they talk about it, and I've even shown a little part of them on here in either the last stream I did or the one before, I showed you guys some clips from the ads. And as they're talking about it, like, it's very much like that happened. And it's a whole thing that happened. And they sound like they're above and beyond it. And I'm sitting there watching this going, I'm literally covering you right now on my channel, and you're still spewing all the exact same bullshit as you were when you were doing the live streams with Amy Carlson still alive. There's not much of a difference in it. And when I return, we're going to read through these. And then in future, every Thursday for the next, I don't know, probably like 10 or 12 Thursdays, by the way, the next few months, we're going to be reacting to mainly Aurora, some Hope, and then some of the other people, because as I've been showing you, there's other ones too. It's not just those 2. And you're going to see, like, the stuff that I am showing you has been recorded and done in the last 6 months. Okay? All of it in the last year. I am not going to be showing you going forward the 5D full disclosure stuff from like, I'm not pulling from 4 years ago when Amy Carlson was still alive and they were living at the house. No. I'm pulling from 4 or 5 months ago what they posted on their channel. We're reading the energy reports from December right now. This is what they believe today. Okay? These were released this month. The first one I'm reading, it was released December 6th. The next one on the 8th. And the last one I'm reading to you was released 2 days ago on the 17th of December, 2023. And that's what blows my mind. I'm like, I know a lot of people feel like this thing ended, but it did not end. And they are being a little bit sneakier, as I'm kind of trying to show you guys about how they're sort of getting people to join this. So we're going to take a short break, mainly so that I can use the little girls' room. And then we're going to get into those last few. And then, like I said, starting 2 days from now, we're going to be watching a whole bunch of the videos. And you're going to be able to see good old Aurora and Hope and all of these people doing their thing on the live streams pretty much in present time. So we'll be right back.
How do you know if your problems are the result of bad life choices or demons? And what do you do if your problem is demons? My 200-page book, Dealing with Demons, has answers for questions most are afraid to ask. Can Christians be demon-possessed? How can I know what's natural and what's supernatural? Dealing with Demons will teach you how to recognize symptoms that the devil is at work in your life or the life of someone that you care about. Learn strategies to avoid Satan's traps and walk in freedom and supernatural protection. Read Dealing with Demons and be one step closer to living in spiritual victory.
Wait, do you have a condom? You don't have one somewhere? Yes. Oi, excuse me there, sir. Do you have these directions? Sure, you just go down that way and make a turn. Don't let her know that your dinger is almost a no-go. Get Tiny Dinger condoms to you discreetly. It's very important to choose the right size, so make sure that you get your tiny size. Don't be caught without a condom. No, no, no. Get Tiny Dinger condoms, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand. Located at your local CVS pharmacy, Rexall, Shopper Drug Smart, Walmart, and in your favorite streamer's nightstand. Are you someone who worships our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Do you believe women owe you what the Virgin Mary refused to give up? Is your life meaningless unless you can experience the touch of a woman, but not just any woman, a true Stacy? Are you tired of gym maxing? Well, we have the perfect solution for you, Giga Chad. Brought to you by the same people who brought you Tiny Dinger condoms, trademarked, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand. We now offer sexual endorphin spray to help attract the perfect Stacy with just a few squirts. No, don't squirt that! Sorry. Today's content is brought to you by Sexual Endorphin Spray, trademarked. Just spray yourself with this fabulous fragrance, and the women won't be able to keep themselves off you.
I use a sexual endorphin spray to attract this dumb hoe. She hasn't left my kitchen or my bedroom since, know what I'm saying?
Shit smells amazeballs. The fragrance is cool too. It smelled so good, even Grandma loved it. And me. A little too much, actually. You can even use it at church, guys. The nuns wouldn't stop grabbing at me. Neither did the pastor's wife. Women will love the scent, guaranteed. He smells so good. I just want to rip off all of his clothes and then just take my tongue and then... Okay then, amen. Grab a bottle for yourself today, along with a box of Tiny Dinger condoms, trademarked, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand, and you'll be posting shorts on YouTube called From Incel to Giga Chad in no time. Sexual Endorphin Spray, trademarked. Be a Giga Chad right away and spray to get your dream Stacy today. Located at Shoppers Drug Mart, Rexall, Hartman's, RX Pharmacy, Home Depot, Chad's R Us, the grocery store, all the damn pharmacies, and in your favorite YouTube streamer's pocket. Now, back to our regular programming. Yes, now back to our regular programming. All the great scams have subscriptions. Of course they do. What's their channel? Their main channel, they have several channels, but the main one that you want to go to is actually called 5D University. That's probably the best place to start. There's also some really great channels out there, and if you go check out my past content of this and go to the descriptions, I leave links to all of it. So the website is the 5dfulldisclosure.org, and that's where a lot of their doctrine is. And then you can just go through. There's different channels that have been speaking out about it. Unfortunately, though, once a lot of the media stuff kind of died out, and, it wasn't really fun that Mother God was found mummified, they don't stream as much as they used to. So there isn't as much fun content. So a lot of the creators out here that want to cover these things, they find it boring to read through the books and whatnot. And I'm kind of like, no, we need to do that. We need to read through all the books and have content covering the books and covering their energy reports and covering all of the streams. Otherwise, nobody's covering this cult right now, really, other than me. I'm the only one who's actively, right now going through and making sure that we have some kind of A-log of what these people are doing every single day in the moment. Because one day this stuff might disappear. They might go and try to delete a bunch of it, and we need to make sure that we have it so that they can't erase it out of existence. They usually have channels taken down as well. So this is why it's hard, because a lot of their old content has disappeared, which is kind of why I don't want to not be A-logging them right now, because it tends to disappear. We don't want that. We want to know exactly what this cult was doing, what they believed in, and keep track of it. So the next few ones that we're going to get into are actually all written by Aurora, the cult leader herself. Like I said, since Mother God died. Now, the funny thing about this cult is when it's split off into its two sects, and we're going to be talking about Jason Castillo and Joy Reigns. He's still going strong. He runs Father God. Jason Castillo runs the Joy Reigns part of this with, some new people that we're going to be talking about just after Christmas. I believe just a few days after Christmas, I'm going to be doing a live stream on them. I already have it up, so make sure you don't miss that. And Aurora took over this part of the cult, right? With Hope. She and Hope kind of went over here, and they were like, we're going to run this section over here. Think of it as like some weird new age religion that now has two different sects, right? You got the Joy Reigns, and you got the 5D Full Disclosure. Both of them came from Love Has Won. The cult basically split in two, and several of the members follow Jason, several of them follow these women, but they all pull from the same belief system. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. And the funny thing is, in most cults, when the leader dies, a new one steps in, and then they usually want to be, worshipped. And it's weird, because Jason is very much like that. He's still Father God in all his glory. He has not changed as a person whatsoever. He's still the same old dude. Same old dude you saw in live streams or in other coverage of this cult, or even in my past coverage. He has not changed. And so he is going around like, I am Father God. And he still has this very big godly presence where he wants to be worshipped. And he wants the cult to still look at him as Father God. And I think he's dating the girl the pretty Korean or Asian looking girl that runs it with him. She's very pretty. And I often feel bad watching these women, because I'm like, these women could be very successful somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They seem like they could be highly intelligent women that could have gone off and done amazing, great things with their lives. Okay. Even in content creation, if they were doing anything other than fucking running this cult, they could have been quite successful. So Jason's still very much himself, Father God. But then the weird thing is, over here, they kind of erased Jason's existence in the cult. Okay, so over here, you don't hear about Father God anymore. Aurora and Hope don't bring him up much, don't talk about him. It's almost like they've erased him. And whenever they do talk about the past Father Gods over here, and Amy talk shit on her exes. There were many father gods. Some think that the very first one, and I talked about this in my Love Has Won deep dive, the first one that I did. A lot of people believe that the very first one, I believe his name was David. Don't fucking fully quote me on that, though. I'm just going by memory right now. He was like 30 years older than her, and he was the reason why she left her family behind and went and started this thing. And a lot of people think he was the one that had this belief system and then kind of brought her into it because he needed a woman. And then they kind of started this thing together, okay? And she's had about 10 father gods since, okay? So she's gone through them. And every time she breaks up with one, she has to talk shit on him so that she has a reason why he's no longer Father God. Because they break up. And so now we need a reason why he's no longer the male god of this team, right? So she always ended up talking shit. And so I was kind of expecting the same over here. But so far, like, I haven't really heard Aurora and Hope talk shit on Jason. It's just like he poof disappeared, and there just hasn't been a father god since mother god passed away, and they don't really have that much of an explanation for what happened to him. And we're going to go through all of the stuff that they've said in the coming weeks, and we've already watched a couple of their like very first videos that they've done since leaving Love Has Won. And then as we go through all the other ones, you're going to see what I mean. It's very bizarre because, you know, as they're pretending he doesn't exist, he's running the other sect. And he's like over there with other people running that part of the cult, living out of a tent, playing the guitar and shit. It's just very, very weird and almost surreal because I keep kind of waiting for the ball to drop, if you will, you know, for them to like really come out with it about him. They seem to have gotten into an argument, and you can get some bits and pieces, and we sort of did at the beginning of me covering this, because when they first split up, I was already covering it. I've been covering it since she was found mummified. I haven't stopped. And so it was kind of weird to like watch the split up happen. Like we got to kind of see it happen in real time, if you will. And then it's just been kind of weird since then. Like I said, they just kind of act like he doesn't exist. And I don't know if going forward, if they're ever going to really tell us about what fully happened with all that. It just seems like he was breaking the law and acting a fool. And Aurora and Hope wanted to turn this into more of like a university, as you can kind of tell. And so they couldn't have that behavior around. Like, that's what I'm kind of getting when I go back and I read and watch and try to figure it out. But I can't really say that for sure. Like, something happened. And I bet you there was drama. And we definitely want the tea. So we're going to keep going until we find it. I'm sure it's somewhere. But right now, we're going to just read through these December energy reports, if you will. They're all under the energy area of their website. Oh, that makes sense. Jason really makes me uncomfortable. Yes. And he's in jail, I believe, still right now. I have to double check that. But he had been arrested in November. We're going to be covering that extensively. We're going to be going through the whole court case, talk about what he did and everything, as well as just do a little update on how he's been running the cult, because he is still running that area. That's okay, Adderwolf. Doesn't matter. So right now, they're writing these energy reports every single month, but then they have almost like these other like reports that they do. So this is December's first waivers report by Aurora, written December 6th, and it's called All Darkness Returns to Light. And here we have this beautiful stock image of snow. You always know when it's Aurora, and she definitely did this, because she always has to double space everything. It's always double spaced with her. So she says, November showed to be a powerful catalyzing and intense month of energies. since the 1111 crystalline timeline activation. So on November 11th, something activated. We have been witnessing the change in energies. As this timeline began anchoring through the first waivers, the old timeline's grids began to rapidly collapse. This has been showing up in our collective and personal experiences as sudden breaks with people, places, things, ideas, and systems that no longer resonate. Again, there's always this us versus them mentality, especially with the cabal. That she's done that since the beginning. Like Amy started the whole cabal thing when she was still alive, and they still carry that out here. But for some reason, like I'm saying, these last reports I've been reading over the past several months have really been focusing on breaking up with people. Cutting ties with people and stopping doing the normal stuff that you usually do. It's more culty than ever, if you will. It's just a running theme through all of these, as you're finding out. And the ones before this were no different. The ones in November, if you go read them right now, you'll be like, Jesus, what's with these people and that? As we enter the final month of 2023, we are halfway through the Eye of the Needle transition, which will complete on January 20th, 2024. See, so now they bring up energy January 20th as this Eye of the Needle transition thing. That's supposed to be the end of the Mercury retrograde according to the past ones, right? So it's weird. As Pluto enters Aquarius and leaves Capricorn behind. A lot of astrology in these. This represents the drastic shift between the powers of the old and the powers of the new. December carries with it very special codes that will be preparing us for the exit of the Eye of the Needle and the beginning of the new paradigm. And this is why, again, it sounds like the 5D is happening. It's not, but there's this weird undertone of it. That this is the end of your ascension journey in a way. December is the flip energies, represented by the Hanged Man of the tarot deck. Gotta follow the tarot deck. As the changing of the guard occurs, and I'm like at the Buckingham Palace, the old powers that relied on illusion, greed, control, and corruption no longer have any sustaining energy to siphon from. The new powers are that of humanity, creativity, authenticity, community, and the Aquarian codes of unity. Which, that's a little bit weird, can I say? Because now it's all talking about community and unity. But then, I just finished saying, they seem to be very hyper-focused on cutting ties with people and places and things that you don't like anymore, So that's kind of it makes no sense. These things cannot coexist. December is when the world will turn on its head. And I'm yeah, if we're trying to make all those things exist at the same time, the poles, the goalposts, the poles are shifting literally and figuratively, which represents this change in paradigm. Again, the goalposts, like I say, the Hanged Man gives us the message of the flip. The old paradigm was based in fear, ego, mind. So again, this here is going to talk to us as if we've all gone on our ascension journey, which technically all of you have with me. So now it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Yes, apparently. This is what I'm saying. It's what they're saying, I mean. And I find it very strange. Congratulations. Awesome. I think you only need 500 for monetization now, if that was what your goal was. That's a lot of people's goals to reach monetization at first. So I think you only need 500. So you should be good for that now. Congratulations. I have no problem with you bringing that up. I have no problem promoting people or people wanting to talk about that in my chat. So what I was saying is that, sorry. Here they're talking to us, and you guys went on the Ascension journey with me. So if you've been following along with my content and you've been going through these books with me, books, I put that in quotations. I have several live streams. We cover the longer ones. And then I have released several of the shorter versions, and I still have some more to do in the new year. Don't you worry. It's very much like they're talking like you've gone through the journey. We're at the end of it now, you know? Right? The old paradigm's over. It's based in fear with the ego mind. We went through all these trials this year and we fought through and now we're like at the end of the journey. Like they keep making it sound like this. And I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen in 2024? Like, should I be more worried? Should I be getting like a call to action here or something happening to like really come in and stop this thing? Which I would have no problem with us doing, by the way. But it's like, what are they trying to portray here? Because they go, the old paradigm was based in fear, ego, mind. Well, the new paradigm is based in love, the consciousness. So I'm like, okay, like your 5D consciousness? So they also talked all like, oh, 5D's here, the 5D's now, we're starting the 5D. And I'm like, what are we portraying here? Is the Ascension journey done? And are we now supposed to be waiting for Robin Williams to come win a spacecraft? I want to meet Robin Williams. And then it says, what happens when everything you thought you knew is not real? What happens when those you judge turn out to be the ones who have been serving the highest good? What happens when your belief system suddenly collapses? And I'm like, oh no. Is that what we're doing here? I mean, I guess you would have to collapse all of their other belief systems for them to believe this, right? That's how a cult works. What happens when logic and rational thinking can no longer make sense of what is happening? I'm like, then you go to the hospital? Like, I don't understand, Aurora. We have shared many times that even the first waivers will be surprised by what is revealed during this transition. And I'm like, well, that's probably not good then. You would think that they would, again, be very familiar with what's supposed to happen. All of them are allegedly psychic, so I don't know why they keep getting surprised by things. But anyway, all darkness is returning to light. And this will change our perspective completely. And I'm like, okay, again, it sounds very at the end of the journey. Right? You're letting go of all your darkness and you're coming to the light. That was like part of the Ascension journey too and all that. Again, a little creepy. I don't like it. Humanity began undergoing a collective ego death after the 1111 portal. So that's November 11th. Completing the final death on 11/30. The 30th of November. And that doesn't sound good. Completing the final death. Because, you know, like they said themselves.
Because if she dies, we all die. That's what.
So, what death are we referring to now? I'm just wondering. This has all occurred energetically, but will begin to be seen in December. Oh, yay. We get to see all of our hard work. The ego and all of its logical and rational thinking will no longer apply. Again, the ego holds your logical and rational thinking, something that this cult is asking you to let go of. I need to plead with all of you to never let go of that. Please use your rational, logical thinking as often as possible. Do critical thinking skills. Do your own research. Look into things for yourself. Don't just listen to anyone telling you what to do or what to think or what to believe. Ever. 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 Don't. So anything that tells you to let go of your rational thinking, I'm going to have an issue with. I have a huge issue with this. I'm like, if I got to let go of my rational thinking and my logic to join something, it's just not for me. Like, no thank you. I'm good. Make sure that you're also the same way. I promise you, if this shit was real, you would be able to take your logical and rational thinking along on the ride. Okay? The ego shit's not real. I don't believe in any of this. So, this is just the cult's way, literally, of telling you to stop thinking logical and rationally so that they can then feed your mind with all this bullshit and you'll be more willing to believe it. That's all this is. All it is. Okay? If this shit was real, like I said, and the ego was actually happening, like I said, and this ascension and all this, you would be able to think logically and rationally and then still come up with the conclusion that this shit's real. It wouldn't have to tell you to let go of critical thinking skills. Hold on to your critical thinking skills, please. Don't ever give them up for anything or anyone. Ever. At all. Even in your personal life. Even a romantic relationship. Don't do it. So they say it will force all to navigate through their heart and intuition instead. Am I someone who believes that you should always follow your intuition? Yes. But bring your logical and rational thinking along. And sometimes it's okay to listen to your heart, but also use your logical and rational critical thinking skills, please. Then they say, all blame, judgment, projection, and beliefs about the way things are, in quotations, will be completely shattered. We shall open up to an entirely new, much higher, and more expanded perspective of our world and ourselves. Yeah, it sounds lovely. Except look at the price you have to pay. You have to give up your critical thinking skills for it. No, thank you. The truth is, not told in these documents, all things serve the light, even when we cannot see it. So you're just supposed to believe it, I guess? The divine plan is an intricate, woven, brilliant web of miracles and synchronistic events. I'll let you all decide how brilliant you think these things are as we read through them and listen to them. I'm sure you'll all be real impressed. Spider Woman, because everything that you should believe in definitely talks about someone named Spider Woman, like we just entered a fucking DC comic book somehow. Spider Woman / Source / Mother God / Amy Carlson began weaving this new web of light in November, and December is when this web of light will now activate. It's lights on for humanity. It is time to wake from their slumber. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The allegory of Plato's cave comes to me. I'm like, I'm sure it does, Aurora. I'm sure you got a full vision. As one becomes so used to seeing shadows on the wall, they believe that it is real. When the lights come on and the shadows disappear, we are left with the realization that all was not as it appeared to be. How profound. December is warming us up for the theme of 2024, which is, you ready for the theme of 2024 for the cult? Truth is stranger than fiction. That's promising, isn't it? 2024 is also the year of the dragon. And because of that, we're going to be reading through their book on dragons. Yep, that's a real thing. They have a dragon book. It's going to be one of the first short ones that I give to you in video form in the new year. I'm sure you can't wait for that now. and an 8 universal year. Many believe the dragons to be folklore or myth, yet the dragons are an integral archetype of humanity. I guess you're getting an introduction to it now. We once walked the earth with the dragons, who represent power. True power is of the heart and is never used against another. The dragon energy lives within our DNA and will be activating next year, returning humanity to their true power as co-creators of Source and of this planet. Again, Source is Amy Carlson, Mother God. The 8-year heightens this intensity as the 8 is also about power, how it's used and what it is used for. The 8 represents abundance and limitless possibilities. It's the infinity symbol, technically, so that's why they're real creative over here. For first wavers, the month of December is a time to truly reflect on your journeys and let go of your previous missions. Seems a little weird thing to ask them to do, huh? It is time for the next mission. And this is what I'm like, okay, Aurora, what are you about to get these people to sign up to do? What's happening? This requires us to step into our true power, the power of love and Source. Release all energies of guilt, shame, regret, anger, resentment, blame, and projection. Third eyes plus crown chakras will be undergoing a major opening. Which is weird because remember, this was supposed to actually be about the third chakra. Not technically isn't the crown the first one or the second one? Anyway. So now it's about the crown chakra, and this is what I mean. There's no consistency in this whatsoever. It's all over the place. The belief from the last one isn't the same as this one, but then there are still similar themes. It's very bizarre. Universal love, universal forgiveness, and universal compassion will flow through us like a waterfall. Great analogy. As we all hold steady and stabilize the rainbow bridge between heaven and earth. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm confused because I thought that I was getting into a spaceship that was driven by Robin Williams, and then we were going through the ocean to get to heaven. Now I find out that there's a bridge that I have to walk on. What the fuck? Got a little ahead of myself there. As the collective enters their dark night of the soul, all waivers will be called to be in divine surrender and become master processors. Not masturbators, master processors, okay? Heavy emotions, lower thoughts, and density will be releasing in mass amounts, and we are called to hold the light. Do not hold on to anything. Do not take anything personally. Trust and faith are our new foundations as Source, the Galactics, yay, Robin Williams is coming! And our angel teams are here to assist us like never before. See? We do get to meet Robin Williams. We shall have no fear as we walk through the final exit point of darkness home into the light. Aurora, what are you saying here? I'm getting scared. This all sounds very final. Since it's the final exit point of darkness, home into the light. I'm scared. Well, that's okay, because she's going to teach it to you. December 12th, Etheric Surgery Seminar. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a thing. What we do not talk about often enough on this ascension journey is grief. Even though we are aware of the miracles happening and we understand the process of ascension, yeah, we all do, we are also in a constant state of grieving. Grieving of the old ways of life that no longer make sense. Grieving of our old self-identities that no longer resonate. grieving relationships that no longer align, grieving whatever we can because people are the most vulnerable when they're grieving and therefore the easiest to indoctrinate into a cult. It is a heavy month of processing this grief, but a necessary and sacred process as well. This month, we will be hosting our Etheric Surgery Seminar on the 1212 portal, so December 12th, with a specific focus on clearing grief from the body and how to support ourselves through this process. This Etheric Surgery Seminar will focus on the detoxing of etheric bodies. Okay. Implant removals, as well as the healing and recovery of our energetic bodies. Again, it's sounding very final again. We are being called to level up in our ability to process and integrate. And it is vital and important that we all care for our physical, emotional, and mental bodies this month. And then she leaves a link. And if you click on that link, you are, of course, going to be led into the sessions and events tab. And they have quite a few going on in future. All of them in which you can buy tickets for. Right? And they also do all of their reading and sessions for more money, of course. You can even have a 2-hour custom astrology consultation for $144. And we're going to be looking at those in future. And that is it for this one. All written by Aurora. So now let's move on to the next. The next one is also written by Aurora. As I said, all of these are. And it's called 1212 Portal, The Point of No Return. So it was released on December 8th. Again, to promote them going to the lovely seminar. But as we level up, we get more hit points, which makes it harder to be unalived. Something like that. You know what I mean? You know? Feels like a mass unaliving plan. They're trying to make it make sense in their own minds and easier for the followers to digest. Yes, this is what I mean. This stuff's getting a little bit scary at the end of this year. Worse than I thought it was going to be, if you will. So this picture gives me a headache. I don't know what she was trying to do here, but Jesus Christ. And this one I don't think she wrote on her own. I'm just saying it's not double spaced, and literally every time she does one, it's freaking double spaced. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, who'd you steal this from, Aurora? But it reads, 1212 portal, new moon in Sagittarius, the point of no return. And that just makes me feel great inside. I'm like, oh yay, we're at the point of no return. Great. The 1212 portal is the final portal of the year and always occurs during Sagittarius season. The number 12 reduces to 3, so we have a strong Trinity energy to this portal. The number 12 is also a very sacred number, often connected to the energies of completion and divinity. We see the number 12 appear in the Bible as the number of disciples. We see the number 12 designated as the mark between morning and evening, like noon, midnight. And we see our current calendar aligned with the 12-month cycle. 12 months, yeah, really good. Completions, endings, plus revelations often come through the 1212 portal. And this year is very special as we will have a new moon in Sagittarius on the same day. The new moon in Sagittarius will occur at 20 degrees and is setting us on a new path of awakening. Since the 1111 crystalline timeline activation, we have witnessed the beginning of the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening. Lovely. Final stages of the journey. This is the time for the remaining masses of humanity to begin their awakening process as we finish the eye of the needle. Transit of Pluto in Capricorn. For most of December, Pluto will be stationed at the critical 29 degrees of Capricorn before moving into Aquarius on January 20th, 2024. The old matrix system is collapsing internally. We're going to hear Aurora explain the matrix system to us in future, don't you worry. And this is triggering the following: collective ego death, collective awakening / remembering. Again, when you kill off your ego, that's when you're supposed to start ascending to the 5D, so I'm scared. I'm smelling pure farm fresh bullshit. Is that 20 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius? 20 degrees Celsius, because I'm Canadian. What the fuck is Fahrenheit? So, again, this is getting a little scary to me when I read ego death and collective awakening, remembering. It's just getting a little scary. As the collective passes through their first initiation, those who are holding the line as the first and second wavers are being bombarded with the processing of lower thoughts and emotions. It's just your ego messing with you. We are all one within the collective consciousness, and thus we are all tasked with assisting in this massive processing. As shared in the previous update, this month there is a huge focus on the energies of grief. When one begins to awaken and go through their first ego death, and I'm like, Jesus fuck, how many ego deaths do you need? They naturally pass through the 7 stages of grief. We grieve all that we thought was true, but turned out to be illusion. We grieve our old sense of self and identity. We also grieve the old world in which we were so attached, but is quickly slipping away. This month on the 1212 portal, we will be hosting our monthly Etheric surgery seminar with a specific focus on the release of grief from the body, as well as the complete detox of our etheric bodies to clear all interference and implants. Right? The 7 stages of grief are a helpful tool in understanding the emotions and energies we are all collective processing. So everyone that's in this cult is allegedly collectively helping the newbies, if you will, go through their very first ego death by going through the 7 stages of grief. And these are the 7 stages of grief. But of course, this isn't always this is their own version of it, if you will. So stage 1, shock. This can result in glitching of the mind plus confusion. Stage 2, denial. This can result is blame plus projection. And we don't ever do spell check or grammar check here. Stage 3 is anger. And they say this can result in judgment plus rage. Stage 4, bargaining. This can result in one trying to analyze or justify. And I'm like, that's literally what that, sure. Very smart, Aurora. Stage 5, depression. This can result in a sense of hopelessness, which you often have in depression. Stage 6, testing. This can result in one seeking help or guidance. And stage 7, acceptance. This results in the purification plus transformation of grief. Understanding this process will be essential for all waivers as we collectively undergo this massive transition and transformation. Universal Compassion, forgiveness, and love will be essential. As all darkness comes to light, judgment will be dissolved in empathy as we make space for all humanity to find their own light within. The 12/12 portal plus new moon in Sagittarius will also be anchoring in divine will on the planet, as there is no longer free will on this plane. Which is funny because their whole thing is that before you went down to the earth and became a person, you signed a contract with Mother God that you were going to go through your ascension journey, and you agreed to all of the pain and trauma. You basically said, yeah, give me the abusive relationships and all that awful trauma that I have in my past and my life. Yeah, I totally agree. I should go through all of that. And that's why it's okay that they victim blame and shame you, because you agreed to it. So them bringing up free will in any capacity is always funny to me. I'm like, you don't have free will because you signed your life over. It was like signing a contract to the devil, where you sign your soul over to the devil. Well, they basically did that, but with Mother God, which, I mean, some could argue that's the exact same thing. Then they say Sagittarius holds the ultimate faith, the vision, and does not steer away from its core truth. This is a dawning of revelations, and once they dawn, they cannot be forgotten. We are now at the point of no return. The great remembering has begun. And it's funny that they're using the word remembering, right? Because usually they have a different word for remember, right? Worst timeshare ever. Usually it's you're heartening, not remembering. So that's interesting that they brought back the word remember. This is also why I knew that a lot of this was stolen, because of them using the word remember. I was like, you guys aren't supposed to be using that word. And then they admit to stealing this right here. The following is an excerpt from the book 360 Degrees of Your Star Destiny. And that's by Elias Lunsdale on the 2021st degree of Sagittarius. Blessed, surrounded by every opportunity in the world, granted to meet in life that which can revitalize and restore and reawaken that was lost, stuck, stopped. We are here entering the mystery of soul remembrance. What does it mean when we can recall in fragrant fashion all good and essential things and can never forget them? What does it do for us when over and again we are immersed in especially painful and enduring lessons and repetitive experiences, yet throughout it, all we feel and know inside that we can come through and that everybody can come through? What this does, it tap a storehouse of spirit spark. Say that 10 times fucking fast. That is right here, available whenever we are ready to surrender to its depth of power. The Christ dwells inside this frequency. It's a rhyme, a rhythm, a pulse, a knack. Once you get it, you can't lose it. Then you know new birth in all things. So we stay plugged into the subtle web of weaving between self and world. The collective becomes the self, and the self, in turn, is quintessentially there for what everybody is going through. It's so very tricky to operate this way. Very few can hold the balance. Most times, we forget who we are. We become our world and wonder whatever happened to us. Or we can retire into our own hidden places and lose the world altogether. The skill we must master here is an advanced one. It involves simultaneously, fluently, and in the very moment becoming self-becoming world. Breathing out, breathing in. with no further preferences or special desire clusters. We need to authentically be at one with the life pulse. On the 1212 portal, both the sun and moon will also be in gene key 26, which is known as the sacred trickster. It is here in this gene key that we see the tricks of the ego, and they no longer work on us. So again, if we are actually killing our ego, we've done the ceremony, which you're supposed to do during the end of your ascension journey, right? Are we not now going into the 5D, which is the end of the road? And then at the end was when Robin Williams shows up, and that means you are unalived. I'm scared. Am I the only one that's scared? The shadow of this gene key is pride, which also carries the gift of artfulness, plus the city of invisibility. The following are excerpts from the book The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, because we're just stealing stuff from other people now. Sorry. And this reads, the power of will is actually a magical power. Magic! It is quite literally your ability to harness the power of light and project it through your body as action, thought, and words. Oh yay, manifestation. I love that for us. It is the key to manifesting your dreams, of course, on the material plane. However, there are two types of will. There is your will, which, as we shall, is an illusion, and then there is thy will. Your will is the foundation of human pride. It is the belief that you, as an individual, can control the forces of nature and come out on top. But it is at the 26th gene key that finds all shortcuts through the matrix. Such shortcuts, or wormholes, allow human beings to operate at higher frequencies to break the normal laws of the material place. The deepest sadness of all is that this 26th gene key contains such effortless magic, but it is effectively negated by the deep-seated and false belief that you cannot get anywhere in life except by sheer force of will. Inside the coils of your DNA, your higher purpose lies concealed. You cannot force that purpose out into the world by sheer force of will. Your higher purpose can only manifest when you surrender your individual will to nature as a whole. Well, creepy. Don't suggest doing that. But at the higher frequency, freed from fear, the 26th gift sells itself through love. This is heart marketing. It's a lot like network marketing, The 26th city dissolves all sense of individual will. Everything in the cosmos is driven by a single turbine, and surrender to this impulse renders the individual ego invisible. Not just your own ego, but everyone else's ego as well. The whole game just falls away. To dance with the 26th CD is to let go of all agendas. Laughter is the true legacy of the 26th side-eye. I don't know how to say that word. As we enter this 1212 portal gateway, because this is all going on December 12th, many will be receiving sudden revelations, sudden awakenings, which will begin the 7 stages of grief. For many first plus second waivers, you will also be receiving new instructions and new soul contracts. So when I see that they're going to be signing new soul contracts, I'm kind of like, does that mean that those ones that they signed with Mother God are no longer in effect? Is this Aurora's way of erasing Amy and taking over the cult? Like, who are they signing these new soul contracts with? Because Mother God's dead. Are they suggesting that, like, you're signing a contract with her? Like, as soul, as this higher being, as this God, if you will? Or are you going to be signing this contract with Aurora? I have so many questions about this. I just do. It's a little creepy. You know what I'm saying? 2024 will herald new missions for all. We are now merging with the divine will rather than self-will, as the divine has already decreed this planet to ascend along with all of humanity. So now I'm like, okay, so now the whole planet is ascending with all of humanity? So then does that mean that Robin Williams isn't going to come meet me in a spaceship anymore? Like the whole planet's going now? Because I'll be sad. I wanted to meet Robin Williams and the Galactics, okay? Once you awake, you could have kept Trump. I don't care about meeting him. But the rest of the people seem cool. Once you awaken, you can never go back. Once the light has been turned on, it can never be turned off. It can dim in moments, but it shall never burn out. Like, okay, tell everyone they're not going to burn out ever again. Good idea. This is the point of no return, which is what I'm scared of. The divine comedy is truly unfolding. And we all are playing our divine role in this play. I'm like, no, sweetie, this is real life. Like, if you guys do something stupid, it's final. Just please keep that in mind. Later this month, we will host our monthly Angel Chip Activation Seminar, in which we will collectively be activating the divine codes that lay dormant in our DNA, our true memories, true history that can never be forgotten. So in other words, at the end of the month is when the true indoctrination is going to really start to begin. If you weren't indoctrinated yet, you're about to be. This new moon will also be trine to the new node, North Node in Aries, plus South Node in Libra, creating a destiny activation for the collective. The following day, Mercury will go retrograde at 8 degrees Capricorn. I thought it was already in retrograde. Or the 13th, right? 14th, 15th? What day? Now it's not in retrograde on the 12th anymore, huh? At 8 degrees Capricorn, also in loose conjunction to the asteroid Fortuna in Capricorn. Our fortune plus our future is there for us to remember. Yeah, your future is there for you to remember, to bring into physical manifestation. What dreams have we forgotten? What soul purpose have we been running from? Do you remember? Aurora. For those guided to join, the Etheric Surgery Seminar will begin on December 12, 2013, with part 1 of the process, and part 2 will complete the surgery on December 19th, 2023. For all those guided to join, I look forward to seeing you there. The following lower energetic implants and chips will be dissolved. The Sabotage plus Self-Sabotage chip, Mimic chip, Brain Rewire chip, the Bully chip, Abuse and Abandonment chip, Glitch chip, Dishonored chip, Witch Warlock chip, No More Casting That Magic, Revenge chip, Hatred of God chip, DNA Manipulation chip, Star of David, Inverted chip, Annihilation chip. We will also be clearing plus activating the 13th chakra system. Earth Star Chakra, Root Chakra, Sacral and Navel Chakra, Solar Plexus Chakra, Heart Chakra and Higher Heart Chakra, Throat Chakra, Third Eye Chakra, Crown Chakra, Casual Chakra, Soul Star Chakra, Stellar Gateway Chakra. Some of you haven't heard of any of those chakras, and some of you haven't heard of quite a few of those, but you think that you know about the chakras. Yeah, they have their own even that they add. It's great fun. This is a live Zoom seminar in which we will guide all participants through the etheric surgery process, plus share guidance and insight on further energetic body healing. Equal energy exchange, $22.22. All events will be recorded for those that cannot attend live. And then it says RSVP. And again, it will lead you to the upcoming classes, which we will be looking for, much like the last one did. Oh, yeah. Great, great fun. Great, great fun. So now we have the very last one. The very, very last one that we have to read today, which is also by Aurora. It was just uploaded on this area, which if you're wondering where we are on the 5dfulldisclosure.org website, we're in the 5D energy updates area. That's where you would click in the website to get to where I am. This is the latest one. As you can see, it was uploaded 2 days ago. And of course, it's the winter solstice, the crystalline template activation. And the reason why I wanted to read all of these to you is because, as I've been saying, this is sounding creepy. Okay, it's starting to sound like these guys might be turning into a doomsday cult in future, like next year, and maybe more people should be keeping an eye on it. I'm just saying. Because there is no watch list for cults, as far as I'm concerned. It's just like me and a group of people that just like to report them to places whenever we can, whenever they break the laws that we can report them for breaking. Like when they make medical claims, I can report them to the FDA, the FTC, and I can try to report them to like the FBI, but not if they're not doing anything overly like this. Like it has to be pretty illegal. Which is why it took Mother God dying before the cops and stuff even took a look at this thing, unfortunately. It's very hard, as everyone's finding out if you're subscribed to my channel, to take down a cult, no matter what kind. So this one is also allegedly written by Aurora, uploaded by her, at the very least. And then, of course, it doesn't say, unless she quotes someone, who it's by. And it's called Winter Solstice Crystalline Template Activation. We have this beautiful picture of purple trees. They really like purple. As we are now within the window between the 12/12 portal plus the winter solstice, we have entered a sacred passage. So if you didn't know, congratulations. We've entered a sacred passage now with our Ascension journeys. As we shared in our previous update, the 12/12 portal heralded a new moon in Sag, which was lighting the path for a new journey of truth. I don't know why they yelled that one at us. Divine revelations and the great remembering. Which, yes, we have a dozen memes we can do for that, don't you worry. The winter solstice each year occurs during the darkest part of the year, as the sun transitions into Capricorn. As we know, we are currently in the eye of the needle transit, as Pluto will hit the critical 29th degree of Capricorn on the winter solstice. The critical degree always brings about a collective crisis of sorts. I'm like, oh yay. As Pluto rules over our deeply buried subconscious and psyche. And I'm like, oh, is that why we don't have any free will left? The following is a beautiful excerpt from a fellow astrologer. And I'm like, Aurora, you're not an astrologer, girl. What are you talking about? Who did you steal this from? Because you're not an astrologer. talking about? Gee, come on. Aurora. Were you also Cleopatra in a past life? Like, come on. Come on, girl. You are not an astrologer at all. That's such an insult to people that actually study astrology and have gone through the years of school to do it. And then this bitch is like, I write cult documents on a webpage. It made me an astrologer. I study the moon and the stars and the solstice and the horoscopes. It helps me sell my cult products. I'm now an astrologer. It's like, shut up, Aurora. Anyway, says the following is a beautiful excerpt from an astrologer on this 29th degree ingress. So I refuse to call you. You're not an astrologer. Frederick Woodruff also considers the 29th degree. And then he quotes Frederick Woodruff. So really, we're reading a quote from Frederick Woodruff. I'm just saying. Experiences taught me that planets at the 29th degree have a near manic power. If the 0 point of a sign is raw and filled with limitless potential, the final 29th degree has an effulgent, near to bursting expression about it. And I'm like, what? Like just a lot of energy? Is that what I'm supposed to be thinking of? Pluto first came to 29 degrees Capricorn in February 2023 and retrograded back to that degree in mid-June. At that time, Frederick wrote, Pluto returning to Capricorn is akin to the penultimate moment in the War of the Worlds. Yeah, the War of the Worlds, where the aliens are in a balls-out crusade to wipe out whatever structures are resistant to their mission. Yep, that's what we're doing right now. Here is his sage advice. Thank God we have that. On the personal level, there's only one way to accommodate Pluto as it loiters in the late degrees of the sign, poking at and disturbing the shaky yet seemingly stable routines and habits that comprise our lives. Funny you say we should do that in the cult. And that's to practice a form of energetic Aikido, where the planet's cleansing and destructive Shiva force is embraced and enacted. Not so much beating it to the punch, but falling into accord with it. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah? What I mean is, don't leave it to your unconscious to rummage about like a blind man, attempting to compensate for the incoming disruption, where you unknowingly recreate limits or new versions of the same old shit. Yep, they swear in this. Evolve. Consider the possibility of becoming consciously proactive. And then it gives you this link to click on. And that brings you to mountainastrologer.com. And it shows an article which was posted on the 13th of December of this year. And, you know, it's interesting. I guess it's written by Frederick Woodruff, Steve Wolfson, George Kirsten, Michelle Finey, you know, just the Mountain Astrologer. So I guess that's who we're quoting. Good thing they leave the link, you know. As Pluto rules the beginnings and endings of eras, the end of this era in Capricorn is bittersweet. Since 2008, Pluto has been collapsing both the internal plus external enslavement codes and structures that have swallowed our world into a black hole of capitalism, patriarchal control, and suffering. The damn patriarchy! As hits the Anaretic degree on the solstice, two paradigms will come head to head. Pluto in Capricorn plus Pluto in Aquarius. Coupled with this intensity, we have Mercury currently in retrograde, at 8 degrees Capricorn. So they keep saying, moving back through the earliest degrees of the sign, while Pluto holds down the fort at the final degree. Intense, isn't it? The sun will join this Capricorn team, shining light on all remaining aspects of the old world that must come to the surface. And then they have an expert, another one. The following is an excerpt from the book 360 Degrees of Your Star Destiny. Again, by Elias Lunsdale on the 29th plus 30th degree of Capricorn. And it's more of the quote that we didn't finish in the last one, I guess. Same book. If you shoot high, if you aim for the stars, and never let him out of your sight. Again, we don't grammar, spell check here. You will attain mighty vistas of seeing and knowing and being above ordinary conscious awareness. You will live a higher frequency existence, independent of your outer life, in which you are tapped for greater purposes as a matter of course. To fulfill this destiny task, in its outward ripples, you will need to apprentice yourself to a path in life that tempers and steadies and matures your inherent knowingness. You will have to master a discipline, be adept in an art or science that calls forth arduous effort and striving. Only then, after the basics have been taken on, will you have the constancy, not consistency, the constancy and stability to forge the path that is in you and make it in some small measure a reflection of you are spiritually and cosmically all the time. I know that didn't make much sense, did it? Everything about it is tall order. You ask a lot of yourself. Yo, demand that you obey the law of destiny all the way through. I'm just reading it how it's written, okay? Don't come for me. We are entering the final initiation between now and the opening of 2024. And I'm like, very good. We're at the last, couple of weeks of December? No shit. Once the era of Pluto in Aquarius begins on January 20th, we are in a new game, an entirely new frequency, and we must match that frequency. We have had about a month to adjust to the crystalline timeline activation on 11/11, which has been pushing us to purge all remaining physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual toxins that are keeping us chained and limited to the old world. We are now being called to activate. Activate! Holy Spirit, just activate! Plus embody our crystalline templates. Very important. The crystalline template is based on higher frequency coding that will elevate our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies. Like all the above. Why don't they just say fucking bodies, damn it? Into a much higher octave of light. The crystalline template will override the carbon template, and we will replace the slavery codes with sovereignty codes. Sovereignty codes. We all innately carry this template, but have been awaiting the divine signal to activate this. This also includes the activation of our dormant God DNA codes and our higher self essences, as well as our innate gifts and talents we carry. Yeah, I'm scared that we're about to ascend to our higher selves. This is getting scary, okay? This month, we will be hosting our Angel Chip Activation Seminar on December 20th. Tomorrow. just before the dawning of the winter solstice. The cosmos are supporting this template activation as well as our angelic DNA codes. During this seminar, we will also be discussing the crystalline template, as well as the spiritual tools and techniques we can begin implanting to activate this, plus sustain this template. We are ready for joy. We are ready for joy, love, peace, creativity, expression, and connection on a much higher frequency level. We will complete the activation on December 27th. Which freaks me out. Again, if you're completing the activation, you're done your ascension journey. What comes next? I'm scared. Just after the full moon in Cancer assists us with the final cleansing of all grief, heartbreak, and heart chakra wounding. Which again, that's supposed to happen at the very end before you unalive and then go see Mother God. So I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared. The angel chips are the dormant key codes that lie within our God DNA, activating our ancient remembrances, gifts, plus cosmic lineages. The following angel chips will be activated for all key holders: Archangel chips, Master chips, Elohim chips, Advanced Elohim chips, Agarthan chips, Elemental chips, Guardian chips, Knights of Templar, Sisterhood of the Rose chips, Bird Tribe chips, watch out Quail Force, Wingmaker chips, Figure 8 Rainbow chips, Star of David Balance Harmonics chips, GFOL chips, Pleiadian chips, Acturian chips, Sovereignty chips, Blue Star chips, Lemurian chips, Aquamarine chips, and the Holy Grail chips. For those who wish to participate in the angel chip activation process, we will be hosting a group activation seminar on 12/20 RSVP. This will be a 2-part seminar with both pre plus post activations. This is a live Zoom seminar in which they're not using OConnect, sorry guys, in which we will guide all participants through the angel chip activation process, plus share guidance and insight on further integrations, plus embodiment. All events will be recorded for those that cannot attend live. Love to you all. Aurora. So everyone's just kind of hanging out now at the 5D full disclosure cult now that they've, read all of this and we've read all of this. And they are waiting to do the amazing the seminars that they have, because of course all of this is always in the name of in order to do the seminars. Chip sounds good right now, right? Never got enough chips. Don't forget the dip. Where does Aurora live? I am not doxing anyone here. So, the next thing I want to go take a look at is I just want to show you what it is that they have planned for their future sessions. Now that we've read all that, they keep linking us to this lovely sessions and events page. They have a couple things going up. Upcoming classes. So, of course, they have the Angel Chip Activation Seminar. And you can click on Buy Tickets. And this is what you are met with right here. They are $22.22. And about the event reads: the Divine Mother has identified angel chips or God DNA codes that lay dormant within our etheric bodies. These chips hold activations of our higher self essences, unique spiritual gifts, plus codes from our cosmic lineages. That's just like your past lives, I guess. This seminar will go through each of these angel chips, plus activate them. The goal of these seminars are to intend to activate our full higher self embodiment, along with activating and reclaiming our soul essence as well as our inherent gifts and skills. And see, this is when I get worried. Because I'm like, yeah, if we're doing all that, we're at the end of this journey then. So we are at the end. I don't know what else you would be doing after that. According to them, there's not much that would be happening after that. So I'm a little scared. Each of us holds a unique blueprint as a spark of God, and through our intent and participation, we assist with not only activating these within ourselves, but within all of humanity. So now even if you don't consent, too bad you're going on this. It says the group seminar will occur in 2 parts. The introduction seminar, plus explanation of all angel chips, as well as answering any questions or comments. And then it says a follow-up seminar to share insights regarding the activations, as well as further self-love tools, plus technique for higher self-embodiment. And they're like, that will be about a week after the introductory seminar. So that's the one that they're doing tomorrow, the second one. This seminar will occur via Zoom live, plus recordings will be sent to all participants who cannot attend live. If you cannot attend live, this will not affect your activations, as each recording is designed to provide all of the proper codes. And you must pay $22.22 plus 56 cents as a service fee for that one. I'll be right back. One sec. Okay, so I have to go get my kid at school, so I'm going to have to cut this short. But basically, the other one that they have is the Age of Aquarius seminar. And that one is a 2-part seminar that's going from the 29th to the 30th. So we'll get more into it in future. And it costs about the same amount. As you can see, though, the way that it's put, it looks like it starts on the 29th and goes until the 30th. But no, it's also going to be a 2-part seminar. So when I go live on Thursday, I will come on and we can talk more about that. I'm sorry, I guess my kiddo's school called and I need to go and pick her up for some reason. Because school's not done for another half an hour. Someone should send Ash to this site. No, don't do that. That would be awful. He probably would. Join them, or he would get super jealous and want to be like Aurora herself. I wonder how much money HBO paid each member of the exclusivity. I don't know. The info I have as of late says Hope, Faith, Dylan, and Peter lived together there in Florida, and everyone else went back to Colorado. Yeah, I can say that Jason's in Colorado, that's for sure. I'm not sure if all of them are still in Florida, though. Everyone have a great day, and if you're going to join a cult, make it a sex cult. Shut up, Joe. Yeah, well, I'd rather have the chips you eat than the chips that they're talking about. But yes, so that is the Ascension journey, and of course, or the Ascension journey, that is the energy guides. That is supposed to be kind of the end of our Ascension journey. Like I said, this shit, like, really is freaking me out. Because it sounds like in these energy updates for this month that we are like at the end of the Ascension journey. There's some things that are sounding very final. And again, they're talking like this is the last kind of step that you would have to take before you go and join Mother God in the 5D world, if you will. You know what I mean? So I'm a little scary about it, you know? Jason is running the Joy Reigns cult. Jason is running the Joy Reigns cult, which I also cover and will be covering again to do an update on soon. So yeah, guys, no matter where you are and what you're doing, I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. Take care And I will see you all on Thursday, in which we're going to be reacting to some videos of Aurora's. So I'll talk to you then. Mwah. Bye! And remember, don't join a cult. Not even a sex one, Joe.